Okay, so this is the first time that I'm going to be presenting these ideas. These are ideas that are frankly still more or less in development. 3D printing, obviously, is a I mean, compared to pianos anyway, very new technology. There's two main different types of 3D printing that we do here. There's filament printing, and then there's resin printing. So filament printing, the advantage is it's really fast and it's very strong. And the disadvantage though is detail. So smaller parts, like I'm going to be showing you some smaller parts, some flanges and so forth. That's more for resin printing. That's highly detailed, but the disadvantages are mainly in processing. It's just more of a hassle. Okay, so just kind of brainstorming some ideas. The first one, I think the biggest reason would be obsolete parts. Working on 300-year-old technology, right? Most pianos that we work on are not 300 years old, but a lot of them that we work on are 19th century, and so lots and lots of totally obsolete parts that we're working with. Or in the case of the Nordiska, we're going to talk about that in just a second. Okay, one-off specialty parts. Okay, same day. Sometimes you don't have the ability to wait for a shaft order for a week or whatever, and if you're good at CAD, then you can probably have that part within, depending on the size of the part, within an hour or two. And then okay, specialty woodworking. Okay, so a lot of pianos, right, that are built in the 1890s, a lot of the uprights especially, they've got those filigree front panels, and a lot of times they're very fragile, and so there'll be a part missing, a piece of wood that's missing, or on legs, a lot of times there'll be carving that is very hard to duplicate with wood. Or as you'll see, one of the parts that we have, there's an entire piece of trim that was missing, and so we duplicated the trim. We'll talk about that. So here's a Steinway. I can't remember what year that one is, probably 1870, 1880, something like that. And so you can see right off lots of obsolete parts. Okay, then down there we've got a Viennese action. And so here's just a kind of smattering of a few parts that we've designed and printed for different parts. Emerson, Knabe, Steinway, lots of these parts from 100 years ago or more that we've done. That one in the middle on the right, that's a back check for an 1895 Knabe, a very weird back check. I suppose that a modern back check would have been just fine, but this option was at our disposal, so we duplicated that back check, and it works great. Okay, one-off specialty parts. There's that leg that I mentioned. So this was the picture that this technician in Maine sent to us. He said that these movers, they lost one of the three legs. Can we duplicate this? And so I said, absolutely. So I asked for a couple of measurements, like I asked, for example, for the absolute precise location of the holes for the bolts, obviously the height, and that was pretty much it. So there's the final product of the resin. That's before plating of this part.
Yeah, so the first coat is a paint. It's a nickel conductive paint. It
actually has nickel powder in.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of nickel powder that's conductive because the surface needs to be conductive in order to electroplate onto it. So after that first layer of nickel paint, then we can plate a thick layer of copper onto that. Yeah, and then nickel on top of the copper, and then brass on top of the nickel.
Okay, so specialty woodworking, stuff like, a lot of times this stuff, where these pianos are 120 years old or more, at some point somebody broke one of these off, or down here in this section, or this music desk, there's bound to be a piece that is broken off, and so that can very easily be duplicated, created in CAD.